Today's video, we are working on my 93 Fox Body Mustang. Back to work on it at least. And this time we are working on the back end of the car. So I got it running and driving pretty good. And now I need to do some work back here so we can make it hook and give it a little bit more power and some adjustability and brakes. And yeah, power, adjustability, brakes, traction. That's what we're looking for. So what we have is a bunch of stuff. This is currently the stock 4-cylinder, 7.5-inch rear end, springs, control arms, everything back here, rear axle and suspension wise, is bone stock. But I have a trussed and welded 8.8 sitting here, some axle seals. That is a anti-roll bar. And then we have some universal coil spring adjusters that I got to modify and put in there. This stuff is for the rear coolant lines that I got to modify. And then this box here is brake stuff. And I have adjustable upper and lower control arms. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the whole rear axle out of this. And while the axle is out, I'm gonna come in here and grind where these factory torque boxes are. And I'm gonna weld these torque boxes up here. And then here is where the adjustable coil spring mounts will go. This coolant line here needs to be modified, same with this one. But anyways, we are gonna get this axle out and then we'll go from there. All right, so I decided that I was going to mount at least tack weld in the anti-roll bar before I pulled this rear diff off. I started to undo stuff to get it off and then realized in order to put that rear end in, the only thing left that I have to do is weld, like if this right here was where the anti-roll bar mount is coming down to the axle, I just need to weld the brackets onto that axle over there, and then that one can get all painted up and ready to go in here for final assembly. So that being said, I decided I would use, since this axle is the exact same width from flange to flange, I decided I would get these mounts here welded up into there, which is where the anti-roll bar mounts to, and then I can measure from this flange over to where the actual, whatever I'm trying to say, the mounts for the anti-roll bar go. There'll be one there and one there, but on that axle I can measure it, weld that, paint it, and after that then when that is all dry and ready, it'll be ready to go in the truck, or back in the car for final assembly. So anyways, all that to say that I'm working on the anti-roll bar, and you can see up there where this anti-roll bar mount goes all the way up against this flange here. And UPR said it needs to go as far forward and up as high as you can go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take and grind all this out here, and not grind it all out, just clear the paint off there, and then clear the paint off that side for this other mount to go on it, that one. And then I can weld it up in. It actually looks super simple. Just make sure it's nice and square and everything works good. And I want to make sure that when I weld it, I don't burn the grease out of these bearings or hurt these bearings. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get back to welding. All right, let's back you guys up. Nope. All right, so I got the plates on both sides tacked in place, and if any of you guys are trying to do this by yourself, try to find someone to help you. I use some C-clamps to help hold this these plates up in, but this bar is solid and it is not easy to hold at all. So Now, I'm not going to weld these brackets to this axle at all, because remember, this axle is going away. But now that it's up in place and I measured from here, from this edge to the frame on both sides to make sure that it is centered back and forth this way, and from here to the frame to make sure it's centered back and forth this way. So now I can take the measurement from here to the axle flange on both sides and transfer it to that axle, make sure it's square with the pumpkin here as these, so I can just level that. And then I can weld these to there, and it'll be completely ready after it's painted. Then I don't even have to put that housing into the car until it is completely ready to go. So I like that idea, so that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna get this measured up and get them welded on there, and then that axle can get painted. Well, I don't know how I messed up on not pulling the camera out when I painted this, but it's all dry now. I just want to show you guys. I thought that it would look pretty sweet if I painted the axle body color. And check that out. I think it looks awesome. Super awesome. So let's walk out of here and show you guys my next step. Here is I got the axle to the point that I can start unbolting everything and pull it out. Got the, I think I already showed you guys this, the anti-roll bar is in, so then I could mark the other axle. And let's see, yeah, it is all tack welded up in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this axle out and try to get these control arm bolts out. Sometimes them things are a pain in the butt because the bolt will get rusted into there and just has a really hard time coming out. So luckily last night I was able to get that apart. So I'm going to give these other ones a shot and hope and pray that they all come out good. But yeah, I'm gonna get the axle on. So, got the axle out, got the anti-roll bar mounts all welded up, and then right here, like right on this edge and around here where you can see all the new weld, all this that I put in there on both sides, those were originally, let's see, let's stick this up here so I can show you. So originally there was just a spot weld there and there. That's the only thing that was holding that piece on. And same with like up here, spot weld, just those. So I come in here and ground it all out, welded that baby up there, welded up here on the lower torque box. I put some rust encapsulator, you can see the outline here on these spots to try to stop all this, at least slow it down. The best thing to do would be to come in here and sandblast this. But I'm not gonna do that. I just put some rust, wire brushed it, put rust encapsulator on it. And I am gonna have to undo the line there and there, because I need these out of the way now. They like to hit, and we can't have that. So I gotta redo this hose here, this coolant line, and this one. This one I'm gonna follow right along exactly like I had that one there. I'll turn it and it'll follow right there. But before, oh, did you see that? That's not good. I better fix that. Anyways, meanwhile, I am gonna come in here and I'm gonna mask the anti-roll bar off. But because I had already sprayed all of this stuff black, everything in here, I'm gonna continue that. I'm gonna make it all black to right here. I think it'll look really good if the wheel well and everything there is black except for the axle being body color, and then the anti-roll bar and the brackets, or in the linkage, will be silver. Yeah, anyways, let's see, let's get a, yeah, see if all of that was black and it was just a nice body color axle with a nice polished diff cover. It doesn't even have to be polished, but like an aluminum one or something. That'd look awesome. And then I'll clean this up some point in time. But yeah, so the next thing I'm gonna do is take some masking paper and mask off all these lines here. Even though I'm getting rid of these, I don't want the hoses and stuff getting dirt and junk on them. I mean, black paint on them, my bad. Yeah, so I'm gonna mask those off and then start spraying this. And I guess I'll show you guys what I'm even gonna spray this under here. So it's commercial, let's see. Yeah, commercial performance coatings. It's just an enamel black. This stuff works super good for like my Toyota pickup. I put this stuff on the chassis. It's gloss black. Man, it holds up very, very well. I do have to redo it every, I don't know, 3 years or so, but that thing gets ran through sagebrush and dirt and rocks and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so we're gonna put this underneath it and go from there. Ta-da! And it's all black now. Look at that. Looks pretty good. I got a couple little touch-up spots to do that I'm just gonna do with a can. But yeah, looks awesome. After I sprayed, I come up in here and wiped off the anti-roll bar, and then wiped down some of this copper line and stuff. So I'm gonna let this stuff dry. It'll probably take, this stuff is pretty what am I trying to say? It's 1K, so it takes a little while to dry. So I'll probably let it sit for a day and a half or so, a day, and then I'm gonna come in here and get rid of this copper line and this one, and then after that I can start putting the new axle in it and start putting it all back together, which I'm very excited about. So I'm gonna let this thing sit and I'll see you guys as soon as it's dry. Ta-da! So what was I gonna show you guys? Oh, the coolant lines that used to come up here, these ones. So I cut both of those down, just like so. So this one used to come up here, but it was hitting anti-roll bar and the A-arm, the upper control arm. So I didn't even realize it until the other day, but it had been rubbing the upper control arm for quite some time. So I don't know why I didn't think of doing it this way in the first place when I first built this, but hey, here we are. So now I got all like these lines and all this junk that needs to all get put back right here. and here, and this is one of the new lines that I built that will connect to there. And then I have that line down there that I built that will connect from there over to there. I do still need to build a brake line, but I may or may not do that until after. It's going to come from here up this and down like how I had it before. I may or may not do that till after the rear axle's in. I'm undecided yet, but at least for now, I can come in here and put all my P-clamps on, or whatever you want to call them, and hold all my lines up in place, and zip ties and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure all that stuff and make it look a lot better. We got it in there, and it was no feet to get it in there. It was no small feat to get it in there, but we got it. And let me explain what happened. So me and Matthew, my brother, that's who was helping me, fought trying to put this thing in, but we figured out what happened. I messed up. This guy messed up when I drilled these holes. I had what am I trying to say? We were trying to mount it to this lower position, right? Because that's the factory. Oh, I literally, dang, there's runs there. And I literally couldn't see that. How is there a run there? It was hung like this. Why is it going that way? That must have been from factory paint. Anyways, when I put these two bottom holes on, I messed up and they were off by literally like a 30 seconds maybe, so just over a 1/16 of an inch. The hole was off. So when we bolted this in, I couldn't get the upper control arm on at all. We were twisting and moving and trying to, without making adjustments. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to make adjustments and then get it to bolt in, because then the rear axle wouldn't be square to the car. So I was adamant we had to figure out what it was. Finally, we figured it out. I messed up. So, like I said, the holes were like 3/32 seconds of an inch this way on this one, and the other side was perfect here. But this one was, I'm not even kidding you, it was like a 1/16 of an inch off. But that side's good. So I don't know exactly how I messed that up, but I did, and we figured it out. Because if we put it in the factory locations, the axle bolted right up. It was no problem. But if we tried to drop it down, the control arm down, it wouldn't line up. So what I did was I took some 3/16 plate, same stuff that the rest of this is built out of, and drilled a hole in it and cut it round. So it's basically, I built a weld washer, and then I oblogged the hole out exactly where I needed it. I put the control arm in that hole, bolted it all together, and then welded it just like I did on this side, just like the bolt is going through this. And now look at that, there's weight sitting on it, and she just popped right on through, lined up nice and perfect. Yeah, anyways, so now I'm just gonna take and go around. I'm gonna go around this with just a little bit of Scotch-Brite. This is single stage paint, so I'm gonna go around it with some sandpaper and Scotch-Brite and clean that up. I'll mask this off, touch it up with a little bit of paint, and let it dry. But yeah, so that's all we're probably gonna do on it tonight is touch those up. But anyways, I'll let you guys know when I get her all done. Ta-da! Well, I think it turned out super awesome. Not only does it look pretty, it should be very functional and work way better than it did before. But we got everything done up. I even have had it set on the ground and adjusted everything and got my pinion angle, I think, where I want it. I'm gonna do some tests and see how that goes. Got the anti-roll bar somewhat adjusted. I need to sit in it and have somebody help me adjust it, but it's really close. Got the coolant lines all buttoned up, oil in the rear end. So now I just need to put coolant back in the cooling system and then do up the brakes. So that is what I am working on now. I repositioned my line lock, and I already got all the lines made up. So I got those two lines there, and this one is the only one that's actually installed, and the line lock is installed, not wired up yet. But this is the new master cylinder that I need to replace with this one, and I'm hoping I can just unbolt this one here, slide it off, and leave the shaft and everything in the car, and then just slide this one back on if I have some help for somebody to hold it for me. But yeah, so that is what we're gonna go ahead and do now. Hopefully it's nice and easy, and then we just gotta bleed the brakes, put all the tires and wheels back on it, put some coolant in it, and take it for a drive. So I'm gonna see if I can get this master cylinder put on and get the brakes bled, because I'm ready to drive it and see how much of a difference the gear ratio makes, and just everything. See how much of a difference it makes. So we got the master cylinder on, got the new brake lines all hooked up there and there. Everything is all buttoned up and finished, except I haven't wired in the line lock yet. I need to do that. I should probably do that before I take this thing for a drive, just so then because the fenders are off of it and everything. But we also got the brakes bled, and I do have to say, since I have it plumbed correctly, I can actually hear the rear brakes moving and working and feeling them working, which is fantastic because I couldn't do that before. Also, I had some issues with oil leaking out the bottom of these valve covers, because when I would bolt them on, they would slide down and then it would open up the bottom. The seal would end up off the bottom edge of the head there. So little brother went ahead and welded in this piece of aluminum. So now when I put it on here, the aluminum will hit the bottom of the head and not push the valve cover. The valve cover won't be able to push down. Plus, when the oil hits it, it'll hit that and then just run back into the head rather than just staying on the sill. So I need to tighten those up. I'm pretty excited about that. And other than that, I am ready to take this thing for a drive and see how it goes. So I'm gonna button this stuff back up.